Keenon James started running because it was affordable.
I try to get my minimum 5 miles done by 5 a.m.
And it gave him peace of mind.
I found my thoughts, I found my quiet time, and I found, wow, what a great solace for me.
These days he runs with another purpose. As head of D.C.'s chapter of Black Men Run, he says it's his duty to lead by example.
Our emphasis is a healthy living, healthy lifestyle, but also building that network, building our tribe internally.
Yeah.
So, when I'm looking for a plumber, it's probably the guy that I run with on Wednesday.
The group of more than 700 is a brotherhood of jokes, encouragement, and advice that he describes as exercise meets barbershop.
You have people who can relate to you, and so that makes it a lot easier to communicate and find the words that sometimes you can't with your colleagues at work or even family.
As captain, safety is top of mind for James, heightened after the murder of Ahmaud Arbery.
It's hard when a group of 12, 15 black guys decide, hey, we found this nice park, and it might not be in the neighborhood where most of us live, but it's a great park, a great trail. But there's some fear factor, of going to go run and whether there'll be a problem.
But it's not just Arbery. James says it's a time of high anxiety all around for fellow black men.
Whether I'm running in the neighborhood or making a short drive to somewhere to go for a run in some trail or some park, it's reality. And whether a black man gets behind the wheel of his car, it's some anxiety on that trip, long or short.
According to the CDC, in 2019, 53% of all firearm victims were black males. And according to Everytown for Gun Safety, black Americans are 3 times as likely to be fatally shot by police. Numbers that are very familiar to James, who has worked on federal programs promoting police-community relations. He's also a gun violence survivor. It was about 15 miles from here in Tacoma Park, Maryland, where his brother Sean was murdered in 1993.
It's not over because of days or hours or years. For me, it's coming up on 29 years since my brother was taken. And that trauma is there, that effect is there.
Doctors say that impact, be it discrimination or community violence, takes a toll.
For some people, depending on the level of that negative interaction related to violence or discrimination, it can also put them at a higher risk of developing things like post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD.
But according to Erlanger Turner, author of the book Mental Health Among African Americans, particularly men, don't often get the treatment they need. He calls the barriers the 4 A's: accessibility, acceptability, availability, and appropriateness.
Depending on the state, services can range from $75 to $200, depending on the level of the professional that you're seeking. So that's a huge barrier for many individuals. You also know acceptability, stigma is a huge concern for many communities. And so that fear and concern about, being diagnosed and having that label, sort of what that means to your self-esteem, can be a huge factor for some individuals in terms of accessing care.
Turner says one solution to increasing acceptability, more conversations, like the ones James says he has on those weekly runs.
A lot of men that I've come in contact with don't deal with the emotional aspect. They get through the instance and they decide, I'm going to build a wall. It's no longer something that they're going to talk about, but it keeps manifesting.
And when it comes to discrimination, the group plans to be vigilant, but keep on running, pushing against the stigma wherever it may be. Amber Strong, Newsy, Upper Marlboro, Maryland.
Ironic thing is my oldest daughter, she works for Delta.